Hi everyone and welcome back to the podcast. Carrie's here and Ian is also here.
Hello.
So this is episode 37 and we're going to discuss Lego Cities. Is bigger better?
Yep.
So, do you think bigger is better?
It's a very personal question there.
Do you think a bigger city is a better city?
So I think it can depend hugely
On the city.
Yeah. And on what we consider to be big.
So we see a lot of YouTubers over in America with massive basements and therefore big cities. But you tend to find that when you have a bigger city, well, we've seen somewhere they then spread everything out so much because they've got the space.
Yeah.
Which is kind of boring. I guess it's maybe more realistic that you've got more roads and stuff involved. I don't know.
I don't know. Cities tend to be quite dense.
That's true. Maybe they're mislabeling them as cities then. Maybe they are
Lego towns.
Lego towns, Lego countries, and you've got the outskirts as well involved. Yeah. I don't know. If it's densely populated and it's bigger, is that going to be better?
I think it depends on how so there's quite a lot of people who they've got a large space and so they kind of supersize modulars.
Oh yeah, I hate it when people supersize modulars. I also really love it when people supersize modulars. I think it looks cool, but it always annoys me because I'd never have that space. And you've got all that space available and you're just using too much of it for the same thing.
Yeah.
I think I prefer it. Well, which do I prefer? When they go taller or wider? Which do you think is better? Or do you hate both?
So I think taller can work, but it's if you're doubling the height of it, then that's just gone too far.
Yeah.
I think we've seen the boutique hotel.
Yeah.
Adding an extra floor into that looks really good.
But
going up more than that, and it just starts to look silly.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of people with the boutique hotel going across though, and putting two back to back, or a row as well. So a middle one that's not the funny shape, and then the two ends.
Yeah.
And I think that looks quite nice. And when we went up to London this weekend, that was kind of one of those big grand buildings, the old style buildings. That kind of works.
Yeah, but you're essentially using 3 base plates
of the same thing.
What could have fitted on 1 base plate.
So I guess if you're going to do that kind of stuff, if you're putting the detail into the floors and you're looking into the floors, then it's worth it. If you're just making it so that it looks big in your city... But when are you ever looking
into the floors?
That's the thing. You miss out on a lot of the interior detail in a city, and therefore I don't see it ever being worth doing.
If you think about all of the big city YouTubers that we follow, whenever they're doing a city update, they're not taking the modulars apart and showing you inside. They're showing you the buildings. So,
because logistically, doing the other one, showing inside, is a nightmare. Yeah, people don't do that.
But I think the one that kind of really annoyed me, and I don't know if it's still there, but Brixie, he had the pet shop.
Yeah.
And then basically the exact same thing.
But he just changed the words.
Yeah, instead of pets, it said beer. And then he had another one, and I can't remember what the third one was.
Post, maybe?
Yeah. But it's the same building, just with slightly different lettering out front.
Yeah.
I just went, no.
A lot of people have also taken, the bookshop townhouse and then mirrored that and had that next to it. And those are residential houses. You would get a row of those. So it kind of makes sense. But again, it's just very samey.
If you go to look at a city,
a real city,
you go off on a city break. You don't care about the residential buildings, do you?
If you go to Bath, they take you to is it the Circle or the Grand? I can't even remember what it's called.
No, I can't remember either.
But they take you there.
Yeah.
It wouldn't look as cool if it was just one house.
That is true. When you want the houses to be arranged in a semicircle, you do need enough to make a semicircle.
Yeah, that would be quite hard to do in Lego.
Yeah. But I think that's a unique case.
The ones, I want to say, the canal ones. I don't know the name of it. In You know, the different coloured houses along the canal. You don't know what I'm talking about.
No.
There was a Lego Ideas of it. New Haven?
Okay. Yeah, so then they're all different.
Well, they're all different colours, but they're all...
I thought they were all different styles and different heights and different widths. There was a lot of variety in there.
So, the point of a Lego city is for the person making it to have fun, right? And if their Lego city rules are different to ours, then we just have to suck it up and let them be.
But what I feel is that if you are restricted in space, then you have to be more creative with what you do with it.
Yes, I guess so.
So if you consider Shy Time is My Time, his city on shelves is really impressive. And that's because he's had to make it in shelves because he hasn't got the space to do it elsewhere. So
High Tea Toys as well. She's got like vertical city and there's nothing the same. You don't put two of one thing in because you don't want to waste your space on the same.
Exactly.
So you're saying that it forces you to build a better city, essentially. Yeah. But that's by your definition. So if you look at Bevan's bricks, he's got all the skyscrapers and like floor upon floor upon floor upon floor upon floor upon floor of just the same. Yeah. And it's large scale, and that's what he enjoys, and that's what people go to look at his city for. It's not your personal preference.
No.
And it feels a little bit like a waste of bricks. Like, think of how many bricks are in that city, and you're getting no variation. But that's his city.
Yes. It is his city. He can do what he wants with it.
I think, for me, bigger gives you more opportunity to do detail. So I think I'd like to see cities where you get still the same level of diversity, but you get a higher level of detail. So you're not getting like samey stuff, but you're getting so say a fairground, you've got enough room to do all the shops as well and all the like seating areas and maybe some queues. I quite like. Is that weird?
That is a little weird.
But you can put a lot of scenes in the queues and it makes it look a lot more realist. Like, if you go to the theme park, there will be queues. Yeah. So, putting that in your Lego city, you're suddenly becoming a bit more representative of what you would really see. Yeah. And, like, a train station with more than one platform. Yes. Like, that is more detail, but not necessarily samey. Although with a platform is a platform. I don't know. I guess you can put different shops on each, and you can have
newsstands.
Newsstands, yeah, we all love newsstands. Like a zoo, that needs a lot of space. Like, I struggle to work out how to put a zoo in. Fields and like a whole farm. You could have a cornfield. You could have a non-cornfield. You could have a
wheat field.
Yeah.
A wig field.
A wig field. Yeah. Saturday night. Thanks for that, Ian.
You're welcome.
Lisa did dance.
Oh, was that not what that was?
Oh, okay. I didn't get up and do the jumping part.
Okay, right.
I just did the little
boogie. The sitting down dance.
Yeah, sitting down dance. Aren't we glad that it's an audio-only podcast? But you can have like fields of animals and fields like you can start putting in a lot more detail, but not like repetitive.
Yeah. No, it's because I was thinking, we've got the mountain that we're building at the moment, and so we're constantly working out the best way to get
as much
stuff in there without the mountain just taking over the whole room. Because we could just have gone, well, we'll extend the mountain this way, and that gets more sets on it.
Yes, but then we'd have to compromise somewhere else.
Yeah.
So when you're a small city, you have to do enough of the things you want to do that makes you happy, but not so much that you can't do the other thing you want to do. And I think that's where I'm kind of viewing shows and conventions as an opportunity to do that detail without having it in your city. So, like, say you wanted to do a big diorama of a farm.
Yeah.
You could do that for a show and then tear it down.
Yes.
And you're like, I've bought all my sheep and I've got that.
Yeah.
I've got that out of my system, but it doesn't have to take up all the room in my city.
That's true.
So, getting the sheep out of your system is always key. And then you'll have lots of sheep to then disperse around your city, which makes for a fun, like, hide and seek thing.
Yeah.
Which is always fun. Scavenger hunt for the sheep. No? You're looking at me like I'm weird.
Well, you are.
Have a sloth farm.
Yep.
No?
I don't think anyone farms sloths.
No, that's true.
Would it be for their meat or for their fur? I don't know.
For their cuddles.
For their cuddles. You farm them for their cuddles.
I don't even know if a sloth is cuddly, but they look cuddly.
They have massive claws.
Yeah, I know, because they have to hang on.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they also hang, like, I don't know, I think they look cuddly.
Okay.
Okay, we'll move on. When is it too small?
I don't know.
So I used to follow a channel that, like, specifically talked about small cities. And they were talking like a tabletop, and that was all you had available. And they looked pretty cool. I think you then have to really concentrate on one area when you've only got a single table. And it's probably more likely that you'll build it all up, you'll enjoy it, and then you'll tear it down and start something new. It's a transient kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'll make this, and then Little Bins and Bricks, she does that quite a lot. She'll build up a city, and then she'll tear it down again and build up another city.
Yeah.
And it just looks like a lot of effort.
It does.
But then I guess it keeps them constantly moving. There's less dusting involved because they're always getting moved on. And you can, like, rebuild your things into different, like, if you really like the rebrickables, but you can't afford to buy both, like, 2 sets to have both options, or however many options
Yeah.
you can go, right, this week I'm going to put this one in, and then unbuild it and rebuild it. And that, if you don't want to keep spending on your Lego city,
yeah, that's true.
Means you can repurpose your own bricks, but still build. Because we have a lot of Lego sets, and we build them once and we put them in our city. We don't really take them down and build them again.
No.
We just buy more. And so it's a very expensive habit. But I imagine there's some people who buy stuff, tear it down, and that's kind of the point of people who mock, isn't it?
Can you make us do the 3-in-1s multiple times just so you can get some pictures of them all?
What I've always liked the 3-in-1 sets because there's the opportunity to build something else.
Yeah.
But then I always hate them because it always makes me want to do all of them, and I don't want all of them. So it's a tricky one.
So then the other thing that I do quite like, and I keep thinking I should get more involved in it, is the kind of nanoscale stuff.
Yeah. So we saw some of that at is it nanoscale or microscale? What's the difference?
Nanoscale.
What did we see at the show this weekend?
That was nanoscale.
That's nanoscale.
Yeah.
Okay.
So nanoscale, you can't have people in it because there's no way to represent people with a small enough pieces.
Right.
Microscale, you can use the kind of
like a couple of studs.
The trophy kind of people ones.
Or
a
like
couple
what they did in the Super Mario block.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, just so I can get it 100% straight in my head, the mini modulars that we built, nano or micro?
Micro, I think.
Micro, because they were like this big.
Yeah, everyone can see that.
People can go look them up. I'm kind of... is that how big they were?
Nanoscale, it would be more that a modular is roughly a 1x1 brick.
Wow, okay. A modular's a 1x1 brick?
Roughly.
I'd say like a 2x... Like, it has to be taller.
A 2x2x2.
No, a 2x1x2 or 1x2... Taller. More rectangular. I think you want a modular to be square.
A 1x1 isn't square. It's rectangular.
Oh, 1x1. Okay, sorry. Wow, I was thinking a 2x2. which is completely different to a 1x1. Moving on. I know about Lego, honest.
Yeah.
So, wow, that is tiny.
Mm.
Okay. And why do you want to do this?
Because I think it looks cool.
I think this might be a crazy idea. That you should make a nano version of our city.
No.
No? That doesn't seem interesting to you.
No, I'd more want to do fantasy kind of things. So castles and mines, stuff like that. Like windmills.
Mines?
Yeah.
Surely that needs a lot of detail to do a mine.
Yeah. They need a lot of detail.
But they're small.
Yeah.
You're saying that a modular is a 1x1 brick?
Yeah. So what I'm thinking is you do, I don't know, say an 8x8 would be the size that you'd be working on.
So like the habitat size?
Yeah. And in that you'd have, say, a castle and some landscaping, a lake, whatever. But you then can also build underneath it. So you have a subterranean level as well.
I think you should do it. I'd like to see it.
Yeah. It's just a lot of planning. I might try it. And a lot of it is putting the bricks together to see what it looks like. I think once you've got that, then you can start doing it in something like Studio and doing it digitally.
It seems fiddly.
Yeah.
But I think I mean, we saw the ones at the weekend. They were impressive.
Yeah.
And they were more portable because they're smaller.
Yeah.
You can get a big scene in a small amount.
Yeah.
But if that was your only city, would you be happy with that?
I think so.
I guess it's your purpose of the city. If your city is there because you want to build and design, then it works.
Yeah.
If your city is there because you have kids and you want to go in there and play with it, then it's not the same.
Yes. I mean, the fact that you've not got any form of
yeah.
minifig makes it instantly less playable.
You could get there's these really tiny like pens that have got really tiny nibs. So you could get like a little grain of rice and draw little faces on them and then move them around the city.
Yes.
I think that would be a little hard to do.
Yeah.
Maybe you'd need to like glue it onto a little stick. I'm going to do that. I'm going to make nano figures out of rice. It's my new business. Heard it here first, people. Sign up now. little like actual hair for hair, like, because that's quite small. So like every time you have a haircut, I'll just like stick it onto a grain of rice. This has taken a turn, hasn't it?
Yeah. Will they have accessories?
Will you have accessories?
Yeah.
What, like a necklace?
Yeah.
And shoes?
Yep.
And a handbag?
Little walkie-talkie.
Walkie-talkie?
The ultimate Lego accessory.
How would I make a walkie-talkie out of, like...
Something smaller than a grain of rice.
Yeah.
A couple of grains of sand, some sticky tape, you're sorted.
Okay, I'm seeing a hole in this plan, like...
Only now?
Shush. Right, so you're going to make a nanoscale version of our city, is that what you've decided?
No. A nanoscale fantasy world
thing. But I also want a nanoscale version of our city now. Now that we've talked about this, I want it. Because, like, you could put it in our city.
In our city, yes. I knew you'd go there.
We need to have a model of our city in our city. That's important.
Is it?
Yeah. You make it. Make it happen.
Okay.
With fully working funfair. I want to see that Ferris wheel rotating and the train going round.
Yeah.
Like, I have faith in you, Ian.
Oh, good, good.
So you're saying that bigger is always worse and smaller is better. Is that your opinion?
No.
So when is bigger better?
Bigger is better when you've got the money and time and creativity to fill it well. Bigger is worse when you just rely on a lot of space to not really think about stuff.
So it's not densely populated.
Yeah. You're not having to make decisions about, I can't put all of these sets in. Do I pick the best ones? Do I somehow combine them into a single set? that kind of...
Yeah, because that's the thing. You take an element from that set and an element from this set and you make a better thing from it. But if you don't have to do that, you just put all 3 sets in.
Yeah.
And then you've got or you've maybe got too much of one type of thing then. Yeah.
I mean, I know we've got a lot of modulars and a lot of fairground modes, but we're also trying to include sets from as many themes as we can. So we've got a Minecraft set in there, we've got a Lord of the Rings set, we've got Friends sets, Monkey Kid, Ninjago, all of these different ones in there.
Star Wars, just the one.
But it's not just going out and buying every set and sticking it in there.
No.
It's cherry picking the best ones to come up with something that looks good.
And we started it based on the ones that we liked before we even had a city.
Yeah.
So, like, it's our personal taste to start with. Now we look at sets more, right, we want to do this area, which set fits in there.
Yeah.
But it's still sets that I would enjoy building, I think. At no point do we buy a set purely to make the city have something.
Yeah.
Maybe, possibly the Bugle. I don't know. I'm not 100% sold on whether I would have bought the Bugle if we hadn't got a city.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Because it's kind of boring looking. So I think it's a building. I love buildings, but it's not a... wow, that takes my breath away. I must have that.
Yeah.
I must build that. I must experience that. I just think that having a skyscraper in a city makes sense. Therefore, that's why we purchased it.
Yes.
So I don't think we normally make those kind of decisions.
But I mean, it's things like with the Coral Reef. I spent hours working out which submarine I wanted in there.
Yeah.
Because I went, I've only got space for one. Which one do I want? And going and looking through the ones that are available, ones which have retired, and eventually narrowed it down and went, yep, this is the one that I want.
Annoyingly, not the one that was currently available.
No.
It's always annoying.
Yeah. But if we'd have had much more space, I'd have
You'd
probably
put
just
all
gone,
5 of them in.
we'll find them all, chuck them in, it'll be fine.
Yeah. And when you're looking at that kind of city, it kind of gets a bit boring. You're like, oh, there's another submarine. Oh, there's another one.
Yeah.
Like, how do you make a submarine interesting for the 3rd time?
I don't know.
No, I don't see how you can.
Stick the Beatles in it.
I mean, you can just get that set.
You could.
But it's expensive, so don't. Okay. So, it's not the size of your city, it's what you do with it that counts.
Yes. I think that's what we've concluded.
Okay, on that note, I think that's the end for this week. We will be back next week with another episode on something equally as punerific. Let us know in the comments what you think about city size and what your sweet spot is.
Is bigger better?
Yeah, the age-old question. Also, if you want to listen to any previous episodes of the podcast, they are all available in a YouTube playlist, which I'll link up now or in the show notes, depending on where you're listening. And we will catch you next week. Bye.
Bye.